Welcome to another edition of Enlightened Espresso. As usual, I'm here with Master Chuang. Welcome. How are you today?
Very good with the espresso, yes.
In the last episode, we talked about isolation and being alone and the importance of being alone. Mm-hmm. So much of what I heard, though, when you talked, had to do with giving and your heart going outward and the light shining outward and you sending positive light. All those things that come with, I think, a giving person or a giving soul. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
True.
And explain to me why giving is so important in that growth.
The concept of giving in Buddhism is called paramita, giving paramita. Dana Paramita is one of the first practice.
Paramita means?
Meaning to the practice going to the other side, to the other shore. The practice that is help you to transcend so you don't get stuck. So if you go out on the boat, you go to the other shore, so get to the other shore. Paramita is just the words, but it's a methodology, is how we want to do things, how to become a Bodhisattva. You want to practice giving. So giving is methodology, then you go deep into it and you see that giving is not just giving something, but giving also giving the lights from within. So when your mind closed, when the mind start to be open like that, so that's giving as well. And so you are right when you say shining the light is giving. And it's wonderful to be the light and you keep shining the light on people. Yes.
When you talk about paramita was the term?
Yeah, paramita.
Paramita. So going to the other shore, that's a metaphor or a methodology for to learning to give.
Yes.
Why is going to the other shore like giving?
Because from this shore, maybe we suffer, but there's something we have to let go in order to be free. So that it just meaning, the meaning is just to something that you have to change and transform. Close has to be open. The state of closeness comes to the state of openness. So I just said about shining the light on people, but actually it's not shining the light on people. Actually, just shine the light. That is already wonderful, to be close and to be open. And a lot of time, to be a monk doesn't mean that you learn how to open. It's not the position that's important, not the title is important. It's the mind. How do you identify yourself with the openness? That is the key.
Many religions talk about giving, right, and that importance. From a spiritual perspective, how does, say, giving open up to that translation? Open you up, open that soul up and bring you to that other shore. Mm-hmm. Give me an example of that.
Example, how do I open myself?
Why is giving so important? And say, how would I begin giving?
How do I begin giving? At first, it's very superficial. Somebody else needs something, you give. Somebody needs a smile, then you can sit there and give a joke. Some people need to be comforting and you just give them comfort, or sometimes you just sit and listen. That's the point of giving. But slowly, as you do it more and more, you realize that it's about open or close your mind. You come down to the very root of it. It is to open and close. And a lot of time I was in temple. I was a monk, very good monk, for example, and I would say, okay, that lay person need to teach meditation, need me to teach meditation or spend time to teach. So I think that is form of giving. But when I teach meditation to that person, I was very harsh. I very discipline that person and say all kind of things, very much put that person down. And I'm still thinking that I'm giving because I'm teaching that person, right? So slowly I start to see that, well, that's giving is not really giving, but it has so much of my ego in it. I didn't give with the heart open. I give, but I will sugarcoating with the tendency that I want to show that I am the teacher. So you start to understand that the point I want to make is giving is not just simply the act. Giving is the mind that is open, the mind that's shining, the heart that's sending out this energy that we call love. And that love is in the act. If I'm going to teach someone, then I don't need to think about right and wrong about that person. I don't need to make myself into a position that I am the teacher. But I just simply let the lights from my heart glow. I will need that person to simply to open as well. If I'm open, I have that person to be open. So the giving paramita is this, not only this shawl, but the other shawl as well. Not only me, but the other have to be open as well. It's not just, oh, I give. I don't care about the other. Sometimes we sign the check and we send the money to people, right? But we don't know how people the other side perceive.
Right.
Sometimes we say, okay, here, get the money, go, get it, do it. But we don't care about how people feel about it, right? So it's not paramita. Paramita, you have to think about how you open yourself, how you open others, how the act of giving also completely flowing and fluid. There's nothing gets stuck in between, like, okay, I give you some time, but maybe you should give me back later. Is that good?
It's not as, there's no sense of expectation when you give. You're just giving from pure
No expectation.
love of giving.
No expectation.
So the number one piece of feedback I get when I talk about, or when I ask about this program, or when they've seen this program, was that you seem very peaceful. Okay. So, and I think there's this assumption that you become a monk and then you're peaceful. And we've talked about this in the past. What's your view? Is it a journey? Did you get a sense of peace when you became a monk, or are you how does that evolution occur?
I don't think being a monk, you automatically be free from all the anxiety, the fear, especially the discipline in the temple. Sometimes the pressure that you have to be perfect in the precept, in the rules, and the sila means precept, that you have the whole precept, you have to be really upright, you can't make any mistake, all that. Striving to be perfect is good, but they act like, okay, you be a monk, then you be free from the rest of all the problem. No, you're not. I still remember this confusion that the day I became a monk, I'm shaving my head. The layman who used to stay with me, he's my good friend, and the next day he bowed to me and said, oh, you're the master now. I said, no, I'm still the same guy. And we laugh at it because the problem's still there. But many years I learned one thing, and that is I need to be humble for one fact. Being a monk or doing the monk work doesn't mean I'm be free to anything. I have a lot of chances to look at myself better. But I think the break is when I start to identify myself with the light. When I identify myself with the light, the source of openness inside, then I realize that being a monk and not being a monk the same. But before that, being a monk in the Sangha, have a position, shave my head, and have my position, it seemed that the status and everything speaks for me. It's not the life that's speaking. And there's so much insecurity, there's so much, the sense of ego is so much built in with that title, with that position.
So are you saying, though, that
and the weakness as well?
Yeah, though that they have the same, I guess, human frailties as everyone, where you're looking for status and recognition and power.
Exactly.
That can exist anywhere?
Yes, exists everywhere, especially in the Sangha as well. And it's very difficult to get rid of until we realize until I realize that it's not. And that's when 1999, when I went to Hawaii, I stayed in the hut for 3 years. Of course I travel, visit people, but being alone there, I realized that's how important it is to be the light. But it's a practice. It takes so much time and so much, I think, awareness of being the light and being free from this insecurity. To be the light, I don't need to strive for perfection. I don't need to be a perfectionist. I don't need to worry about, in terms of precept, in terms of virtue, in terms of morality. I don't need to worry about that. Because I have to be very, and people always say to me that, Master, I'd like to see you in the red, the red sash and the yellow robe. I want to see you to be very proper. But that built in the security, and that project the security, and make me caught up in the game of, okay, I need to be this, I need to be that, I cannot be free. But the moment I realize that I am the light and I keep shining, The light doesn't own anything. The light doesn't need anything. I become more secure by just thinking I am the light.
So you're still working every day on that giving, on those precepts,
Exactly.
on the opening.
Yes, yes. And I cannot ever say that, oh, I am free from all the problems. The problem can creep in immediately, instantly. And I feel the sense of vulnerability always there. Being the light doesn't mean I'm be free from anything. Being the light, it just simply, I'm open and I keep shining. And I accept that, oh, I make mistake here and there. I need to accept that because that's part of the life. And therefore, it's helped me to see that there's so much giving from all the people as well. Life is statement of giving. Not only I give, but people give. But how do we look at life and how do we keep shining? It's not about, hey, you have so much darkness, let me shine the light to you. It's not like that even.
Uh-huh.
So it's built into a system that I think I'm happier than before, and therefore you see me peaceful because I realize that it's not something I need to prove to anyone. It needs something that I need to get in order to be. No, I just be.
So giving, we're coming to an end here. Sorry to jump in on your thought. Giving is part of creating that sense of peace. And that
giving is peace.
Giving is peace in and of itself.
Yes.
Giving without expectation, if I'm understanding.
Right.
So give us, as your last act of giving here today, an opportunity. How do we, give me a first act of giving, something that would get someone who's watching started. What would be that nice first step down the path?
You have to learn how to smile.
Okay, I like it.
That's it.
Really? I think that's the perfect way to end. So you've got me smiling. Turn into another edition of Enlightened Espresso. Thank you again for joining me today.